Jacob in California, you're live with Eric and V. What would you like to talk about?
Cool. Well, thanks for taking the call. I got something that it might be a shorter way through this first topic than anything, because you guys might actually end up agreeing with me based on what the call screener was saying. However, I'll just ask the question first. Do you guys hold to the view that the Bible forced a rape victim to marry her rapist?
From what I've read, yes, but at the same time, I think that's a nitpick that I'm not necessarily super, because there are a lot of things that are immoral in the Bible. I think that's an example. But
yeah, I'd be glad to go over any of those too, by the way. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah.
No, that's okay. But it's also a nitpick that I feel doesn't really get us to where we're going. So example, right? Okay. I think times when people say, "Oh, well, the Bible is 100% true. You need to read it literally, and it is the source of morality." Right. That's when you start pointing to the immoral things in the Bible, and rape victims marrying their rapists. I believe what it actually says isn't about the victim itself. It's to the rapist, and it's saying, if you do this, then you need to, either pay her father or. There's recompense to be made because women were considered property at that time. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I'm
okay. Well, not always. No, that's okay. I will respectfully disagree, and I will go to the Bible just to prove it, if that's okay.
Go for it.
So Deuteronomy 22 verse 25 says, "But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lie with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter." So that's clearly an example of sexual assault, rape, and he was put to death. So then we go down to verse 28, and there is one verse in between. I don't skip it for any reason other than it's not super relevant.
It is relevant. It's relevant because the only reason you don't kill her is because it happened in the country and you can't tell if she screamed. If you can tell that she didn't scream when she got raped, then she has to die too, because she clearly enjoyed it. That's the difference there.
Okay, but that's not, so that is reading into the text, though. You're saying that if she didn't scream when she was raped, it means she enjoyed it. But the idea behind that is not that if she didn't scream when she was raped, she enjoyed it. The idea that if she didn't scream, it was consensual. I'm just saying, I'm aware that there is maybe some logical hesitancy there, but you are reading into the text a little when you say that.
Wait, you're saying that it's okay?
So if a man...
All right, move on. Just wanted to clarify.
No, that's okay. I acknowledge what you're saying. I just say that either way, my way or your way, is reading into the text a little bit. All it says is if she screams or she's in the field, then she could have screamed and no one could have heard her. So we can make what we make of that. It's just, right? So anyway... Verse 28, "If a man finds a damsel that is a virgin who is not betrothed, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found," that's the key right there, "then the man that lie with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her, he may not put her away all his days." So,
got it. So
verse 25, the rapist is clearly put to death. Verse 28, I don't think that's rape.
So you're saying the Bible only sometimes says that rape victims must marry their abusers?
Depending on if somebody already has a claim on the victim.
Wait, how do you figure that?
Not betrothed. She's not somebody else's property, so he can have her.
I got it.
If she is someone else's property and she quote unquote consented to being raped, then she dies because she offended the man who owns her.
Yeah, but because she can't.
Why do you keep going to the owned thing though?
Because that's what the entire culture. That's the understanding of the culture at the time. You can't read the Bible without understanding the culture that it comes from.
I mean,
I know. I just respectfully, there's guys like Dr. Michael Brown that have a different opinion of you, and no disrespect. I'm not saying this is an argument from authority, so I'm not saying it's totally valid. However, he does have his PhD in Assyriology, and he seems to have a different opinion of the culture than you. So, I mean, what do we do with that when one expert is saying that the culture doesn't say that and you're saying it does, right? So I'm not trying to make an argument from authority. I just think it's relevant.
No worries. I have debated PhDs. I have learned that they're not as
Right. You guys are
powerful
both
as I
very
thought.
smart, so that wasn't a dig or
yeah,
anything. So
that's okay. That said, the entire point of this is talking about, in the context of this, is talking about morality in the Bible. I think both
absolutely.
ways it's immoral. And if that's the case, then we're splitting hairs at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it just goes back to, which is a conversation that's been had on shows like this. I can't say that I've seen it on this show exactly, but where does your morality? How do you justify what is moral and what isn't? We can have that conversation if you want. It's just my point was that if you read the text and you do a lexicographical, look at the Hebrew there, those are two different words, lay hold of and seize, and clearly the first one, verse 25, he's put to death. The second one, he's told that he can marry her, but he can't divorce her because he humbled her, meaning that she was a virgin before and she's not a virgin now. So, I mean, I just don't see that.
Well, it's
good grounds to say that.
Well, I think in both ways, it's still immoral.
It is still the same. It's the same thing. I don't care about the Greek, the Hebrew word for seize or take hold of. If a guy or anybody has sex with somebody who doesn't want it, then that is rape. And if you force the person, whether that's through...
Respectfully, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. It doesn't say rape in the verse 28. So that's where you're reading into the text just to suit, what it is.
Okay, cool. So then we'll specify and we'll only point out 26. That's fine.
Okay. So what is your contention there? Because, I mean, I'm still not seeing it. The rapist is put to death. I mean, that's the point. So
now we're going with, if no one heard her scream, then she dies too. That's better.
I don't think it's
I'm saying I can see from our modern point of view how that would be like logically problematic, because we're like, that's the best evidence you would have had that it wasn't rape, right? I get that. However, it seems that it was. It seems that at the time it was the best evidence that she wasn't raped, and that's what they went off of. And I'm not even saying that I don't see that.
I disagree heartily with that, because I have been reading this book a second time because it's amazing, called When God Was a Woman by Merlin Stone. And turns out that previous societies had laws that very clearly delineated the woman is never going to be punished for being raped. They had an idea. They came before the Hebrews. The Hebrews then reverted and did something that was barbaric in comparison with all of the cultures surrounding them. So it's not that this was the best evidence they had. This was actively regressive.
I hear what you're saying. It's just based on that verse alone. If she didn't scream and she's in the city, then it's clear that it was consensual. Like, that's what it's saying. So you're getting your information from this other scholar and everything like that. I cited a scholar too, so that's fair, right? That's how arguments work. It's just based on the text alone. If we're just two people just reading the text, you can't get that from the text. You just can't.
I can.
Yeah,
you can.
We can disagree there. The important thing is, the important thing is that we viewed it, and so I'm assuming, you're an atheist.
I'm an atheist? No, I'm a Christian.
You're a Christian. Oh, it has you as an atheist in the thing. Sorry about that.
Wow, I had some modicum of respect, and now I'm just done.
Why?
I'm done with this call.
Okay.
I'm done with the call.
Okay.
Really?
You can continue if
Sure.
you would like, but I'm sitting this out for the rest of this call.
Okay. Jacob.
Yes, sir.
So the reason this gets brought up is because the statement, the Bible is a source of morality, that's when this conversation comes up. So do you have the claim that the Bible is a source of morality?
The Bible is simply the transcribed word of God, but I mean, God is the source of morality. So
okay, so do you believe that the Bible is the source of morality?
I mean, for the sake of the argument, yes.
Okay, so if I were to find things that were immoral in the Bible, would you revise the view that the Bible is the source of morality?
Yeah, I mean, I know this is where I might get laughed off the show or whatever, and that's okay. But no, I would just simply say that you have a bad theological understanding of what's going on, and I could prove it using other texts in the Bible. I could show you that might be a circular argument, but I could also show you archaeologically and historically and everything like that where the Bible holds up too. So I mean,
I'm glad that you're recognizing that it's circular, because the thing is, at that point you're talking about exegesis and hermeneutics, and we should probably have that conversation in another call. But I think that when it comes to translating things backwards and forwards, we can make them into whatever we want them to be. And when that happens,
I would need an example to agree to that, but
sure. Let's do that on the next call.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Sounds good. Take it easy, man.
Yep. Have a good one.
So a Christian caller calls in and wants to talk about and use apologetics for the rape claims in the Bible.
That is not the approach that was taken today. And I'm done talking about Jacob.
Okay.